Can you name any of the parts in this computer? Well, if you're like me 2 years ago, you couldn't. This is my first gaming PC I've ever built, and I had to have help by my brother Corey. He knows a lot about computers, which is why I turned to him. He gave me a lot of these spare parts. As you can see, there's a lot of mess in here, and that's what the case is mainly for, is to hold this mess in. There's a bunch of cords, you know, it keeps just everything together and neat. The most important part of a computer would have to be the power supply though. The power supply powers up everything in your computer so it can function properly. The more parts you have though, the more power you're gonna need. This is a 650 watt, and all these parts take at least 650 watts to power up. Here's a little better view of the power supply. As you can see, there's a bunch of cords just because it connects to everything. Moving on to my next point, or my next part, the motherboard. The motherboard serves as kind of like the headquarters. It stores all the information. Makes everything do what it does. It helps out everything. Everything goes directly plugged into the motherboard. Keeps everything connected. Connected directly into the motherboard is the RAM. The RAM is like a multitasker. The more RAM you have, the more programs on your computer you can open. Every program takes RAM to run. So if you don't have a lot of RAM, you're not going to be able to open up a lot of programs efficiently. Next would have to be the hard drive, which is probably the most basic part, you know, straightforward. It's the hard drive. It's your storage, like the storage on your phone. Because I'm a gamer, I need a lot of storage to hold all my games. And I have a 1 terabyte one, which is 1,000 gigabytes. The next one is this big bulky thing right here, which is a graphics card, also known as a video card. It helps with it helps the monitor out, like with the visuals and stuff. Like the better graphics card you have, the better visuals you're gonna get on your computer. And the monitor helps you see what the computer's actually doing. Without the graphics card, the monitor won't work, and without the monitor, the graphics card won't work, obviously. Next is the most important part of the computer overall. That would have to be the CPU. The CPU is like the brain of a computer. It makes sure everything does what it does. It distributes information to everything, and it helps connect everything. There are two main functions of a CPU, which are the arithmetic logic unit, which is all the ones and zeros floating around in computers and programs and all that. And there's also the control units, which gets instructions by the memory to do what it's supposed to do. All these parts work together in order to make the computer actually run. Everything has to be compatible, and that's through the motherboard. The motherboard can have two options. It's either going to be DDR3 or DDR4, which means your RAM's going to have to be DDR3 if your motherboard's DDR3, or it's not going to work. How information is passed through a computer is it starts at the CPU. The CPU passes information onto the motherboard, and then the motherboard distributes information from everything else. Because the motherboard does that, it's probably one of the most important ones. There's a bunch of important parts to a computer, and they work together. So.